Hello, welcome to our Friday evening in class. I'm Erin. I'll be taking us through practice this evening. We're going to do kind of a twists focused sequence tonight. So we'll be using a couple of blankets and a block, and we can go ahead and get started on our backs as usual. We're finding that comfy, grounded shape on your back. Grabbing any props you want. I'm a little chilly today, so I'm gonna grab a blanket. I'm getting settled in. And starting to slow down. Find some stillness in the physical body. As you're ready, maybe closing the eyes. Allowing the attention to turn inward towards the breath and the internal sensations of the body. I invite you to bring one or both hands to your belly. And as you breathe, starting to notice and to feel the rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and exhale. Feeling where your body connects to the ground underneath you. Perhaps noticing the weight of your body pressing into the earth. Next, we'll start to intentionally lengthen out and deepen the breath. And feeling the lips. We'll begin inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling to a count of 4 and exhaling to a count of 4. Focusing on evening out the in-breath and the out-breath. And if your hands are still on your belly, continuing to feel that connection and the rhythm. Your next exhale, releasing all the air out of your lungs. Full exhale, deep inhale through the nose, drawing breath into the belly, ribs, and chest. And then open mouth exhale, sighing it out. If you're ready, you can gently blink the eyes open, letting some light come back in. And inhale to reach fingertips and toes out long, full body stretch. And exhale, we'll hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe wrapping the hands or arms around knees or shins. And then just start to draw some circles with the knees. Letting the lower back get a little massage against the floor. Switching the direction. And we'll plant the soles of the feet on the ground, keeping heels in pretty close to the hips. And then if you have a blanket like me, you might have to take that off now. And we'll bring arms out to a T or a cactus and just start to windshield wipe the knees back and forth, keeping it kind of slow and gentle. Starting to warm up the hips and the spine. And then the next time your knees fall over to the left, we'll pause, staying in our twist. Maybe letting the gaze fall over towards the right hand. Next inhale, gaze and knees will move through center. And then exhale to let the knees drop over to the right. Maybe letting the gaze fall towards the left hand. Inhale, we'll return to center. And then we'll send the right sole of the foot up towards the sky. And bring both hands to interlace behind the right thigh. And then we'll start to just bend and straighten through that knee. Starting to get into hamstring, calf. The next time the knee is straight, we'll pause here and then just start to point and flex. that ankle, foot. And then just take some circles through the ankle in one direction. And then the other. And next inhale, we'll pause, pressing that sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. And then exhale to plant the right foot and switch out the leg, sending left leg long. Interlacing fingers behind that left thigh. And then as you're ready, starting to bend and straighten the knee. Next time, left knee is straight. We'll pause at the top and then start to point and flex the left foot, moving that ankle around. And then make some circles. Switching directions. Tend not to give our feet a whole lot of attention, so we're going to do a little bit of that at the beginning of class today. All right, and then inhale to re-straighten, exhale to plant that left foot. Next, we'll grab a blanket, and then just rolling to our left side and pressing up to a little bit of a seat to set up here. We'll fold the blanket up into kind of a small little support. About this big. And then placing it right at the base of our hip here as we're kind of seated in a side, with our feet off to one side. We'll start to lay over the blanket on our side, kind of place it right underneath the hip, and then straighten out fully. You can rest your arm or rest your head on your bottom arm. We're coming into a banana pose on our side here, so we're using the blanket to raise the hips up a little bit to create that curve in the body. And then just letting the legs relax, fall where they may. And you can keep the right arm at your side, resting on the ground, or bring it up overhead if you want to bring that side body opening in just a little bit more. You want to set up your banana pose. First side, we'll just let ourselves sink into this for a minute. And then to come out of this, we'll first draw the knees in back towards the blanket. And then start to press into the hands, walking back up towards the hips to come back up through the seat. And then just switch over to the other side. So bring the other hip snug up against our blanket. Walking down to lay over it and then sending the legs out long. Maybe taking that left arm overhead. And to come out again, we'll snug the knees back up with the blanket and then use the hands to press ourselves back up to a seat. And coming back towards our left hip, we'll pause for a minute and set up our bolster, blanket bolster. So folding one blanket to kind of a long, skinny shape, maybe rolling it up into kind of a tube. And then placing, you could just use this, or if you want to add a little height, you could put another folded blanket on top. And then we're going to come back into that same position with our knees to one side of the mat, feet off to one side, hips snugged up to our blanket. And then this time we're going to come into a twist. So place both hands on either side of our blankets and then just walk the upper body down. Bring the chest to lay on top of the blankets. You add a little length of the block if you need to. And then bring the head to turn either direction. It can be a little bit too much of a twist on the neck to fully twist over to bring the gaze towards the opposite side. So you can keep it gentle if you want. And again, just kind of allowing the physical body to sink into this shape. Keeping the breath full and deep. Even when we're in a twist and in a shape like this where the belly is a little bit restricted, knowing that we can still breathe fully and freely. Taking one more breath here to prepare to move out of this shape. Start to press the palms back into the earth and lift the upper body away from our blankets. And then swing the knees over towards the other side of the mat. Setting up for the second side, bringing that hip right up against the base of our blanket bolster. Framing it with both hands, and then starting to walk the upper body down for our props. And choosing where the gaze goes. Feeling that support beneath you of the props, of the earth. Can that support allow you to let go of any last bits of tension that you might be holding on to? Taking one last breath, or re-grounding the palms, and starting to press back up towards the seat. From here, keeping our props where they are, we'll just bring the base of the spine up against our blankets and then bringing the legs into a butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees falling out wide, heels as close into the hips as you want. Taking an inhale to find some length in the spine, and then bringing the fingertips back behind us. With an exhale, we'll start to walk ourselves back, letting the spine fall over our props, coming into a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. And here, choosing where the arms go, maybe letting them fall out wide or come to rest on the body or anywhere else that feels right today. One more deep breath. And on your exhale, rolling to either side, coming off of your props. Maybe pausing here for a moment in a fetal position before starting to press back up to a seat. We'll move our props to the side for now. And then come on to all fours. In a neutral tabletop shape to begin. Taking a little bit of organic movement for a few breaths, letting the spine move around a little bit, shoulders and hips, just getting into the joints. And then coming back to center on an inhale, we'll sweep the right fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale to thread that right arm through, pausing for a moment. Inhale to open up, reaching with those fingertips. Exhale to thread. Last time, inhale to open and reach. And exhale to thread that arm through. This time bringing right shoulder and right ear to the floor. Coming in to thread the needle. Choosing any variation of the top arm that feels right today. Maybe keeping it exactly where it is. Maybe walking fingertips up overhead, lengthening through that side body, or maybe taking a half bind, wrapping the top arm behind the back, reaching for the right thigh. So whatever shape you choose, making sure that you're still able to breathe freely. One last breath here. If you've taken a variation, replanting that left palm right by the face, and then inhaling to come back to our tabletop. Pausing for a moment, center, and then on your next inhale, we'll sweep those left fingertips up, opening out. Exhale to thread the left arm through. Inhale to open into a twist. Exhale to thread. One more inhale to open. And exhale to thread, this time coming all the way into our thread the needle. Bringing the shoulder and left ear down to the floor. Finding where your right arm wants to go today. And then coming back to the breath. And last breath on this side. And replanting the right palm into press into the earth. Come back through our tabletop. We're just taking a few rolls out with the shoulders after that deep opening. And then from here, we'll just make our way back onto our backs any way that you would like. And we'll keep knees bent, soles of the feet planted on the floor. Once we come to our supine position, and we'll go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left knee, coming into a figure four shape with the lower body. And starting by just flexing those right toes back towards the knee and pressing the right knee away from your body. You might stay right here if you're already starting to feel some opening in that right hip. Otherwise, if you want to deepen this, you can start to bring the left knee in towards the chest, maybe using the hands to help hug it in. Or alternatively, you could come into a twist, keeping the left sole of the foot planted, but then dropping that right foot over to the left, maybe bringing it all the way to the floor. And again, letting hands rest wherever feels right. If you've come into a twist, letting the gaze fall over to the right or stay up towards the ceiling. Whatever feels best in your body today. And with any of these variations, you can always use a block to bring the floor up towards you. So you can use it under the right foot and a twist, or place it under the left foot to hug that knee in a little closer to the body. And if you've taken a variation, starting to bring that left foot back to plant near the hip. And then we'll uncross the left leg, or the right leg, bringing the right sole of the foot to the floor. Pausing for a moment just to notice if there's any difference from one side to the other. Before bringing left ankle to cross over right knee, and then finding your variation of this supine figure four on second side. And you can move in and out of different intensities and variations of all these poses at any point if you feel like you want to back off or try a different shape than what you originally chose. Feel free to do that at any time. You moved into some variation, starting to move knees back towards center, and then uncrossing the left ankle, planting that sole of the foot on the ground. And from here, we'll start to move towards our final resting shape. But before then, if there's any other movement or postures that you want to spend a few breaths in before finding stillness, I invite you to do so now. And then as you're ready, starting to come to your final Shavasana, final resting pose. And whatever that shape is, letting it be something where you can completely relax. The eyes can fall closed. Can just surrender any physical holding or tension and simply let yourself be held up by the earth. finding some depth to the breath again. Starting to wake up the body with gentle movements and feet and hands. And starting to let that movement travel up the limbs before inhaling to a long body stretch. One more time, reaching long with fingers and toes. And exhale to draw the knees in towards the chest, wrapping hands or arms around the shins. And then making those circles with the knees. Once more. Feeling the lower back roll out on the floor. Switching directions. And then coming back to center. Just rolling to either side. Letting the head rest on your lower arm. And as you're ready, starting to gently press yourself up to a seat. Eyes closed. We'll finish out our practice with a collective breath. So exhaling all the air out of your lungs, fully releasing breath and drawing a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, ribs, and chest, reaching through the crown of the head. Open mouth exhale, letting it go. Eyes can gently blink open. Bring hands to heart center. And then up to third eye center. And bowing forward. Namaste. All right, happy Friday. I'll see you all next week.